Welcome to the Week 9 Teasers. This is where I hit you money on the parlay, and you guys already know this is the best gambling show on the internet, and we have receipts to prove it. Let's get to Week 9. The first game I'm going to touch on my teaser, I'm going to take that Denver +4 and I'm going to make it +11. And everyone who watches this podcast knows that Denver has been winning us money all this year, whether it be an upset, whether it be as a favorite. We seem to be right about Denver games, and I don't think this is anything different. While I'm not feeling this upset for Denver at Atlanta, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a one-possession game, and this Atlanta defense, they've looked better since Dan Quinn left, but let's be realistic. Denver's going to be able to run the ball, and when Denver runs the ball, this offense moves pretty successfully. I'm not the biggest Drew Lock fan, but he's got targets. This Denver offense has inspiration. And this Atlanta offense, let's talk situational football. They're going to put up a lot of yards. Matty Ice is going to get up a lot of fantasy stats, but this game comes down to situational football in the red zone. Denver's defense in the red zone against Atlanta. Expect Atlanta to have some turnovers or to kick a lot of field goals in the red zone. That's why this +11 is safe. Next game, let's look at this Detroit-Minnesota game. My Minnesota Vikings against the Detroit Lions. Detroit is +4. I'm going to make that Detroit +4. I'm going to turn it into Detroit +11. And Minnesota doesn't have the defense anymore, and that's one thing we need to be realistic about. They got 3 corners injured. They don't have any defensive ends left. No Hunter, no Ngakoue. And I think the best way to attack this Detroit offense is to hit Matt Stafford, and that's something the Vikings do year in and year out, but I don't see it happening this year, and I think Matt Stafford will have time. I think he'll have time to throw the rock around, and then you always have to worry about this Vikings offense due to Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is the best running back in this league. Already people are getting mad that I'm saying it. He just is. He is the game Dalvin Cook. But I think Detroit can go 8-9 man fronts. They're going to play some bear packages. Detroit's not the best at stopping the run, but they aren't absolutely terrible. I think Detroit does a better job at stopping the run than Green Bay does. And then that comes down to, okay, is Kirk Cousins going to be able to hit these long shots down the field? That will be available. I don't think so. I got Detroit +11. Next game, we got the New York Giants at the Washington football team. Giants +3. I'm going to make this Giants +10. And I think the Giants are going to stop this Washington football team running game. And I think that's why this game is so simple to me. I do think the Giants will have problems with this Washington front, but I think the Giants will be able to use play action. Daniel Jones has some athleticism, not saying he's a good quarterback by any means, but I think he makes enough plays. I see no reason why this +10 for the Giants doesn't work. Next game, let's look at the Seattle Seahawks at the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to make this Seattle -3. -3. I'm going to make this Seattle into +3 or 4, depending what your bookie will give you. So when I think Seattle's a money pick to win this game. And we can talk about Seattle all day, and there's plenty of superlatives to throw around for this team, but I think we need to talk about the Buffalo Bills. We can talk about that big loss to KC. We can talk about getting blown out by an inconsistent Tennessee team, but I want to just laser pinpoint your focus into these last 2 Buffalo Bills games. At the Jets, against the Patriots. They didn't cover either, and let's be realistic. They got the W's, but they didn't look good. If Cam Newton didn't fumble going into the end zone with a minute left, Buffalo would have lost that game, and that's where Buffalo's at. The Jets and the Patriots are playing probably some of the worst football in the NFL. We know you guys would agree with the Jets. I would say the Patriots. And this podcast has won a lot of money these last 3-4 weeks betting against the Patriots. Last week we picked them to cover, not because the Patriots are going to improve, but because this Buffalo team is playing really bad right now. And in this game, Buffalo's going to keep it close. I'm not saying Buffalo's going to get blown out, but I think Josh Allen makes critical mistakes. And whether that be a turnover, whether that taking a sack to take his team out of field goal range, Josh Allen will make critical mistakes. And when you got Russell on the other side, you feel pretty good about Seattle +4. Mark it down on your parlay. Next game, and the final game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the LA Chargers. I'm going to make that Las Vegas +1.5. I'm going to turn that into +8.5. And this team's been money for us all year. I picked the Raiders to beat the Browns last week, put big money on it. And this is just the team I'm riding with. And yes, this game will be complicated for the Raiders. This isn't going to be a walk in the park. We know Herbert and the Chargers are a serious outfit with Anthony Lynn. It will not be easy. But I am not impressed with this Chargers defense this year. I had higher expectations. I thought it might be able to take over games at times, but it's just not there. I'm more impressed with what Herbert and this offense is doing, but this Las Vegas Raiders defense, they're underrated, they're hungry, they play really, really fast. And this might not be the best secondary in the world, but Las Vegas does just enough rushing the passer, and I think that will get under Herbert's craw a little bit. And did I mention the best offensive line in the league going forward when we're talking about pounding, when we're talking about pure, gruesome 80s, 70s football? This Las Vegas Raiders offensive line will do it with Josh Jacobs. That's where I see the difference. Las Vegas running it against the LA Chargers. So let me go over my ticket. I got Denver +11, Detroit +11, Giants +10. Seattle +4 or 3, depending on what your bookie's going to give you. And then the Raiders +8.5. There's some other ones you could consider. Like, I would consider making that Jets +7. I would consider making that a Jets +14. I would consider making that Tampa Bay -5. I would consider making that Tampa Bay +2. I would also one I am interested in is the Steelers -14. If we could tease it down to -7, I would feel pretty safe with that given what's going on with Dallas at the moment. And then another game I would consider is moving this Kansas City -10.5 down to -3.5. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. And I have an announcement, new book coming out. I think it'll be out before it will. I'll promise it will be out before the Christmas holidays. And then also I will be live Friday afternoon around 4 or 5 Eastern time for a live call-in show. Leave your questions, leave your comments. I will answer everything. Thank you. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe.